Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I've only been up long enough to make coffee this morning and feed the cats, and I go to work in a little bit, but I wanted to show you this journal. I love the way this turned out. I mentioned in that little short video about this closure that I made. When my friend Jay came to visit, goodness, has it already been like how many weekends ago? We had the best time, and after she left, it felt kind of lonely, you know, when you've had a friend to hang out with. And I told Jason, I feel sad. So he took me to Reconsidered Goods over in Greensboro to shop, and I found a key ring that had a charm in the shape of Florida. And I had just made my charm bracelet, so I thought, I need this, because Jay lives in Florida, and then I have a cousin who lives in Florida, and she was my best cousin growing up. So I try to put charms on my bracelet to remind me of people. And when I found that charm, I thought about Jay, and I said, I've got to get this. I didn't really want to put the other charms on. I didn't want to fill the bracelet up with charms for no reason. So I just hung onto this and decided to stitch it onto the front. I didn't want to use the sewing machine. I know I've already mentioned that. I wanted all of this journal to just be done on the desk. So I poked a hole with the awl on either side of where the ring would be, and just went through with a large needle and some hemp cord. Well, it's covered up with some fabric now, but I just tied that in a knot, and it's pretty much the same thing back here. That's part of a belt that I took apart. So you've already seen these charms on the outside. I can't believe how full this thing is already, but it's really fun. And this is like a keepsake journal for me, so I'm not worried about it, you know, gaping like that, because I'm going to enjoy looking through this later. I went ahead and added another brad, these bright blingy brads, and Kim, I agree, it just makes the front pop. And then once we get inside, we've got all of these bright colors. I have a little book here that Jay made for me. This pocket ended up standing up a little bit, and I guess it's because the fabric slid. I might have even pushed the fabric down when I put those big paper clips on to hold it in place. So that's a thought. If you need a pocket that stands up a little bit, you can position it and then paper clip it so it stays. These are just some little charms I found in some broken jewelry and bought, little stars, and I love stars. So I put that right there with a paper clip. And I did decide to take a couple of little fabric scraps and glue on this side to cover up the brads. This journal is just full of things I wanted to keep and hang on to. Things float around in the workshop. I bring things out here. I buy things. I'm always making things, separating things into packs, and sometimes I just want something to keep to go in my own journals. For example, this is a picture of a clay pen that I made. Let me see if I have... So here's one that I made that's not finished. This would be more of a pendant, or just something that I would hang somewhere just for decoration. I'll put a charm here and put something through it, and then it can just hang up. I think they're really pretty. I haven't put anything on the back of that yet, and I usually do, like whether it's my business name or a little quote or something like that. Let's see. And there's another one. That hasn't even been glazed on the front or like sealed or whatever. But that's what that is. And then going on through, so there's that picture of the peacock from the very old book about animals. I put peacock reminds me of Rosemary Morris. Sarah Bernhardt in her satin-lined coffin. I think she liked to sleep in it. She was taking a nap in it, which is just so weird, but you know. Oh, and there's one of those little fabric, it's almost like a flower. It is a fabric flower. I had some pieces of fabric left over, so I turned them into a fan. They were bigger than this, so it didn't end up looking like a bow tie. It had so much fabric in it that it wanted like fan out. So that's That's what that is, and I just tied a piece of cord around it. That's the cord that I cut out of the binding when I messed up, and I said I would do something with it, so that's what I did with it. I wanted to make sure I was still recording because yesterday I really thought that my phone was working and it wasn't on. What is this about? Okay. And then I love to take packaging and put interesting images inside. This one's just stapled down the side of the page because, again, I didn't want to go to the sewing machine with this. And there's another one of those flowers. You can see that's a piece that had, let's see, yeah, that's where I tied the knot. I used the whole thing, so all of the strings are hanging off of that one. I kind of like the way it wraps around the model there, and that's an Alphonse Mucha. Jay and I went to see the Alphonse Mucha exhibit at the North Carolina Museum of Art in 2022. That was our first field trip together. There's my youngest grandson. So that picture was probably a duplicate from some that I printed to go in my daughter's photo album. And I brought it out here to put in a journal. That's how it ended up out here. And then a cup from coffee and a few seed packets from the garden where I've been planting. Beautiful magazine pages. I think Jay sent me those. And then, so behind here, I won't really show the whole page. I think it's got some names on it, but that's a list of where I sold a lot of the bunnies that I make. And that's just another pretty magazine page. Let me grab a bunny if I can find one. Oh, I did find one. I found two. My goodness. I need to finish it. I hope I still have all the records. So these are the bunnies I was making and selling. I think they are so adorable. I was making these in, I guess, about 2010, 2011, something like that. This one is finished. I've got my initials. My name was different then. That was the long marriage I was in. And this was number 14. I numbered every one, and I was writing a book. So the book, I need to finish it. I'm not gonna, there's a reason that each bunny has a little piece of pottery embedded in its little soft tummy. Well, it doesn't hurt them, so it's actually a sweet thing. I shouldn't say embedded. They're turning into real bunnies, if that gives you a hint. They came from a Staffordshire pottery place. That's part of the story. And the bunnies were so sweet. They started coming to life. And out in the wild, you could tell which bunnies had come to life from the pottery place because they had this little, you could see pieces of pottery or whatever. I don't know. I just think they're so cute. That was from an old plate. I just love it. This one's not finished, and that one does not have the pottery in it. That's just a regular bun. So I did do both, and this one was stained and then coated with something. That one hasn't been done yet. How did we get on this story? Oh, that was a list of the bunnies, their numbers, what they looked like, and because look, I had chocolate brown, dark stain. I guess a lavender piece of pottery. It just says lavender. I had some gray ones, pink ones. I need to do these again. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. I'll put those out so I can look at them. I've got to link Priscilla's page, her YouTube channel. So Priscilla at Release the Craftin, she's got beautiful digitals. I love digitals. I don't use them all the time because I also love working without digitals. I see people saying, oh, I would never use those. And then I see a lot of people who use them all the time. I don't think it's a bad thing to do either or. I think it's just personal preference. This is just a beautiful kit. And I had a couple of extra pages, so I wanted to use those. And I've got to remember to put a link to Priscilla's channel in here. That was one of the clay dolls I made, and that was given to a wonderful supervisor I had. I knew her for a long time. She passed away, and I went to her funeral. I couldn't stop crying. I didn't know that it was going to hit me so hard. Anyway, I miss her, but I gave her that doll holding the basket of apples. I think there's a picture in here where you can see the doll's face. I don't know if you can tell. The doll is sitting on something, and I took a picture from above. Another seed pack. And the color on some of these pages, you might be wondering about that. I painted some of these pages with the Deco Art metallic, and I put a very thin layer, and it dried so fast. I don't know what's in here that's different from other acrylic paints, maybe less water, I just don't know, but it dried extremely fast. And I think I did, I know I did, I also did some pages with gelatos, and you can add water to those and, you know, kind of color with those. There's another little doll that I made. Most of these sold or were given as gifts. I'm looking around, I think I have 2 dolls left, maybe. I need to make some more dolls. I made clay mushrooms also to sell. Let me get the charms out from under here. That was my little art cove in my old house. So this would have been around 2010. It was at an area at the bottom of a staircase. So the kitchen would come around, the staircase is over to the left. The kitchen would come around and you had to walk through here, and then, well, the kitchen didn't come around. The kitchen was over here, so you would come out of the kitchen around the bottom of the staircase and go through and back into like the living room, one of the bedrooms, the den, and it was an old house. It was 100 years old. I really loved that house, but it did need some work. And then that's another doll. I'm not gonna show the name there. There we go. That was purchased by a friend. I can't remember her name. All of these dolls, oh, I think her name was Autumn Aurelia because of her colors and the clothing and everything. It just looked very much like fall. And each doll had a story. I need to just, I don't know, I need to make some more dolls, honestly. Bags from Halloween candy, and you can see there's a receipt from something I bought at work. Jason likes to take his motorcycle out and ride around, and he will go on these trips like maybe an hour away, not too, he has gone farther than that without really planning to, but he goes to this little country store and he found this the Dutch Kettle caramel pecan apple butter. This was the best apple butter. I'm sure it was from the caramel and the pecan, but that's the label from that. More Halloween candy, and under there you can see part of the magazine page that wasn't painted. And that was just the rest of some acrylic paint that I used up. And just some images. That's a little pin, like a brooch that I made with a little man sitting on a ledge with some mushrooms. I gave that to my supervisor, Terry, as well, because she just fell in love with that. And another candy bag. This was made, a lady commissioned this at a farmer's market my mother and I used to meet at. It's kind of halfway between our houses, and we would sell. My mom makes bonnets, aprons, and dolls. She's got a blog online that is amazing. It's called Henny Penny Lane. Henny Penny Lane is my mom. And you can see her garden and animals. She's got 2 great white Pyrenees. Anyway, her yard is just amazing. But she and I would meet, and she would bring her, you know, bonnets and aprons and her little clothespin dolls, which are amazing. She also carves dolls out of wood in the shape of clothespins and then dresses the bigger ones. She's amazing. But a lady named Joy had asked me to make her one of these. I ended up just giving it to her. But I called her just Goat Girl. I might have named her, but I might have waited and just let Joy name her. I think she turned out really neat. She's really pretty. So I just ended up gifting her that. She was really nice, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Some more beautiful pages and some packets from some beads. There's a label from some refried beans. And again, you can see a lot of tape in here holding things down. So funny. So there's a bag or part of a bag, and you don't have to use the whole things. Cut out what you like. from birdseed, and then that's from cat litter. And I've got, can I go outside? And it's so funny that I have quick dinner because I meant that for us, for these taquitos, Jason and myself. But then the cat and the bird, I thought, well, I'll just add that too. And then this is from a bar of soap here, this pocket. And I'll just cover that up with the name. One of my Amy friends sent me some beautiful old cigar labels. So I kept the envelope in here, and that's just a label from an old piece of ephemera. That's a card from, I think that came from the Grabby box that I was sent to review. And I think some of the stickers or something were in that. And then this is the art card I got from Margot Shelley, from Shelley Studio. We were in a collaboration together. I love this. And I had it in a different journal, but then I ended up selling the journal, but I didn't want to sell the card. I wanted to keep that. So I put it in here. And that's just a big sticker that I wanted to put in something. Like I said, I see things that I know I want to keep, so they just end up floating around out here until I can get it all together and put it somewhere. There's my 3 boys with my mom. They make her look so tiny. And she is kind of tiny. I think my mom's about 5'3" right now. She was always 5'5", but I think we shrink. Mama, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I've shrunk too. I think I was 5'7 3/4", and I think I've lost about an inch over the years. My mom's just amazing though. She doesn't look 80. So more, that was one of the cards, playing cards that I found recently. This is from a bag that we had at the store for Black History Month. We had some beautiful shopping bags. Really pretty bags. There's another little image of my youngest grandson that was floating around. One of the roses from the catalogs. And then that's from a local, just like a little free newspaper that you can get around here. And that was a picture in it from one of the current exhibits at Nasher. And Jay and I saw that on her recent trip to North Carolina. There's a cheese bag. It's cleaned out and sealed up, tagged from the thrift store. And you know, I love these. You can go back through, and Sharpies, that's one of my favorite things. They don't cost that much. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. You can get a 2-pack at a lot of different stores. You can get them at Walmart. And they just write on everything. And it's so easy to just take one out. I love Sharpies. I'll probably look back and wonder what I was talking about. And there's a little, see, I used it along here. Jason recently took me to Reconsidered Goods, and that was cut out of one of their little brochures. So instead of putting the whole brochure in, I just cut out the parts that I wanted to keep up with. And I love that image. It looks like a dress made out of like flowers and stuff. And look at the mushroom hat. I hope you can see that. And then this paper clip, so it's taped into place, and I want to hang something from that. I'm looking around to see what could I put on there. I mean, I'll put something on there. I'm sure something will present itself. What is that? There's actually a split ring. Use that. So I'm going to quit digging for right now. I'll put something on there. And then there's some packaging from Sandra, this wonderful coffee, which I just can't thank you enough. So, no kidding, 2 different times, Sandra has sent me coffee, and without her knowing it, it showed up. The timing was perfect. It's like it was planned. It's like she called me and said, when are you going to run out of coffee? And I'll make sure you have some at your door. Both times it was like a lifesaver. I love my coffee and I don't like to run out, but occasionally, you know, life gets in the way, and it arrived and it was perfect timing. And I told her I was out. I mean, how could you know, except you're just one of those souls that it was just perfect timing. Anyway, I love those bags too. And it supports kitty cats. I think kitty cats that maybe is it a shelter? I think some of the money goes to. another coffee label, and a card that I was kind of altering a bit. This book page was sent to me by somebody. I can't remember if it's Kim or Gracie. I just can't remember who sent me that. But I loved it, and that's one of the ones I said I'm going to hang on to that and I'll put it in a book. I think Jay sent me the beer label. When Jason and I were out at Reconsidered Goods last time, they had these postcards here, and that very same weekend, this expo was going on in Charlotte, which was quite a longer distance from us. We didn't try to go to this. I don't think we could have gotten there in time anyway, because it was almost over. But I thought the card was amazing. They went to a lot of trouble, I guess, to print these for all the different places they were. There's a piece of that satiny, silky fabric I found with the French knots or candle wicking, whatever they were doing, and I just glued that in. That's from a little local market, and there's a tag from some clothing. This I just like for the crinkle factor. I think that had a bagel or something in it. And then this had some really cool fake dollars or something in there, some kind of token things. They were in some Happy Mail that I put together. There's some beautiful images in there, and I just like to sometimes put images in plastic or cellophane or what's that other word? I can never ever think of it. I don't remember what the word is. I can't think of it. That's just from some ribbon, and I put a little image underneath it right in the center. And you can see I've got more room to add stuff. And I do have a few more things out here that I might pack into this journal. There's another picture of a pen. I actually have more photos of the pens and dolls than I need to put in here. And that's probably what I'm going to do. Even though this thing is going to be so full. There's just a little belly band from the from some alcohol markers from Joann's. More pages of the roses. There's from the shindy rug that we've been taking apart on the channel. And here we are at the back. There's a beautiful tag from Jay. Gratitude is everything. I love that. And then this feather is from my friend Mary. She sent me quite a few of these. They're beautiful, and I had taken one apart. Each one had 2 feathers hanging on it. I think they're really decorative. They've got tiny little combs. I think they're decorative pieces that you can put in your hair, like if you're dressing up to go out. I still have a few that are untouched that I might wear in my hair. I think that would be really cool. Maybe I'll wear some today. Anyway, that is pretty much the end, and I just glued my tag on. So that's that, and I wanted to do a full flip through for sure. I haven't had enough coffee yet. So I think I'm gonna stop now and get ready for work, and I will add more to this later. But that's the most recent junk journal that's, you know, my personal junk journal. And I love the way it turned out. Thank you for purchasing these packs that I listed last night, those of you who purchased, and I'm going to be putting together a few more Pen Pal packs soon. I think I'm going to do a second set for March because several people have asked. All right, bye for now.